In September, the first set of protesters were arraigned. That was about 11 of them, and they were granted bail, right? Then in October, precisely on the 31st of October, the next set of protesters were arraigned, and these were those arrested in the north, that is Kano and Kaduna.
My question is, you talked about Nigeria having some of these laws and people do not know about it, right? And again, ignorance of the laws.
It's not an excuse.
Good. But do you think that enough has been done in terms of sensitizing people on some of these laws?
What a good time to be proud of my profession. Yes. For those of you who do not know, I am a proud journalist. Man, journalism is a noble profession, and for a very long time, like for the first time in a very long while, I am so proud of being a journalist. And what is my reason? For the first time in a long while, Nigerian government bows to pressure. They bowed to media pressure. Like, within 2 days, pressure don't mount everywhere. 2 seconds, everywhere don't bust. Oh my God, on guard. Wow, so proud to be a journalist. Well, for those of you who do not know, a couple of days ago, precisely on Tuesday, the Nigerian government discontinued the treason charges brought against 119 individuals who participated in the End Bad Governance in Nigerian protest that happened in August. These individuals were arrested in states like Kano and Kaduna, and they were arraigned before Justice Obiora Egwatu of the Federal High Court in Abuja. And this arraignment took place on the 31st of October. Before we go further into this conversation, I have my wonderful friend with me in the studio. He's none other than Jackson Ode. Yes, Jackson is my wonderful friend because in the end, time me too much, and I don't know what's I did, guy.
No, you're someone I like to just talk to. It's good to have good conversations.
Yeah, true.
Things that are happening both in Nigeria and the world, and as humans, we are flawed, and you are flawed. So we need to correct you when you get.
I quite agree. Having good conversation opens you to a lot of information and knowledge that you would not gain on your own. I quite agree. So, for a background into the conversation, you will recall that on the 1st of August 2024, Nigerians across the country went on a protest, which was tagged End Bad Governance in Nigeria, or some persons call it the hunger protest. These are people, young people, protesting the cost of living, the high cost of living in Nigeria. Now, this protest saw the use of the should I call it brutal force?
Well, yeah.
I can call it brutal force, yes. The use of
brutal
force.
Even though it was not as brutal as the October.
Yes, it wasn't as brutal as the October 2020 protest.
But I mean,
but why would you even use tear gas? Why would you use live ammunition to,
disarm protestants?
Why? Why are you using it on protesters? Because they were just protesting. They don't have arms. But what can I say? This is Nigeria. So this saw a lot of stuff happen. While in the north, we saw some persons flying the Russian flag and carrying Putin's picture. What they do not know was that was a crime, actually. It is a crime in Nigeria to fly a foreign flag with intent to pledge allegiance. So Nigeria do not have a problem with you mounting your US flag, your UK flag, your whatever flag in your business places, in your schools, or even in your office. They're not sent. Because, of course, we have this diplomatic relationship with them. But not when you are protesting. And while they were protesting, they were calling on Putin. and flying the Russian flag, carrying Putin's picture up and down. What they did not know was that was a crime. And while we're still talking about them flying the Russian flag, we saw them burning government properties. We saw some of them looting, right? So these protest that was supposed to be a protest against the high cost of living and hunger in the country turned out to become should I call it riots? No, it wasn't exactly a riot.
It wasn't a riot.
It's moved beyond the normal protests. It was laced with a lot of violence, and then the Nigerian police had to step in by force, and they arrested a lot of persons. Now, in September, the first set of protesters were arraigned. That was about 11 of them, and they were granted bail, right? Then in October, precisely on the 31st of October, the next set of protesters were arraigned, and these were those arrested in the north, that is Kano and Kaduna. We had they arraigned them in two batches. The first batch was 76, and the second batch was 43. Now, in the first 76, they arraigned them on a 10-count charges, which borders on treason, conspiracy to commit felony, with intent to destabilize Nigeria, and that is punishable by buying.
Wow.
That is punishable by buying. And I came back from court that day, and I called my friend who runs an NGO that deals with young children, and I said, tell your children, kneel down if you have to, beg them that no matter what happens. You see, the Bible say, flee from every appearance of evil, but guy, flee from everything that moves, crawls, flies, talks, or acts like crime.
So, yeah, before you even go into this now, my question is, you talked about Nigeria having some of these laws and people do not know about it, right? And again, ignorance of the laws.
It's not an excuse.
Good. But do you think that enough has been done in terms of sensitizing people on some of these laws?
I actually agree with you that a lot has not been done.
A lot needs to be done.
This is what I say. So I have always said it from my SS3 when I started paying attention to politics and laws in Nigeria. Because at SS3, my mom was ringing it into my like, you don't grow. Anything you do now, you go jail. You understand?
Yeah.
So I started paying attention because I don't want to go jail. Then I asked myself, what is the National Orientation Agency doing? I feel like they're not doing their job, so why are they even existing in the first place?
Because look at it from this angle. We see FRSC will do advert about, you need to wear your seat belt.
Yes,
don't drink while driving. Some of these things, and again, this is also to, I think the National Bar Association, NBA too, I think they also need to do something in this regards. People need to be well oriented about the law. I mean, we don't have to know them, in total, like the full, but there are certain things that the way people, that books people hardly read this time.
Use your phone, guy.
And even in terms of that, I mean, with the whole thing going up around, you don't have that time to read it. But there's something that has become very engaging, right? And this is video, audio, and has become very engaging, especially with this social media era.
Agreed.
Right? So don't you think we need to pick up some of these things and do them into videos? I mean, I feel like the government should do something around this where we do videos and share them on social media, put them on TV, adverts, and
I quite agree with you, especially for those who are less educated or non-educated at all. But let's keep those ones aside. Those ones are special people. The ones who are educated, the ones who went through the 4 walls of the primary school, secondary, university, some even did their masters. How many of them knows the Constitution?
Now, this is, I agree with this, but then the thing again is, people are busy trying to make a living,
in the course of making a living, and you're not making that living within the confines of the law. Nobody cares if you know or not.
But again, It's just, for example, when you see a US citizen and police says, "Oh, get down," you say, "It's my right. You can't do this to me."
Because they know.
No, and again, they consciously do stuff around this to educate. You would see a small child tell you, "I know the law." It's in short, when you wake up in the morning, first thing you know is when your mom slap you, you call 911.
Come on.
So
come on, it's
no,
not like that.
no, but you look at it as it might be funny, or it might
No,
be.
it's not
but
like
look at
that.
it in
Now,
the
the
sense
way you
that
compared it.
and just a small child already knows these.
So,
little
like I
kind of
said,
laws.
I agree with you. For instance,
So-
my niece is 7, and then everybody in the house, we saved our numbers on her phone for emergency. You understand? So she knows that if she's in a fix, she knows who to call, right? I think you see, I'm not thinking. In fact, you're correct, right? But still, I am still saying that we still have the responsibility to ourselves. Remember sometime in some of our past episode, I had said Nigerians should download, if you cannot go to the bookshop or those legal shops to buy the Constitution, download the soft copy. Thank God for even Chat GPT and all these AI chat box and all of them. You can always type on that and say, what does the Nigerian Constitution says about this and that? And it pops up for you. Type it on Google and find out. It is not an excuse,
Yeah,
guys.
it's not an excuse. I think we're not trashing this issue from the grassroots.
Sensitization is necessary.
Sensitization
Extremely
about
necessary.
okay, just for
But
example.
will you not commit a crime and tell the
No,
government that
of
you're
course,
not
I
sensitized?
won't commit a crime to say I'm not sensitized, right?
That's what I'm saying.
But okay, take for example, we see what Aproko doctor is doing with health. Most people are more aware about certain things, certain health issues.
Number one, me. I'm a
Through
huge fan.
through his contents.
Yes.
We see this guy that does for law on properties majorly.
What's that guy's name? Timi
Agbaje.
Agbaje.
We see his content.
He does something
Most
on
people,
marriage mostly.
Marriage and all of that. So now people are getting more aware about these things, right? And then he quotes the law, the part of the law that binds that kind of. So what I'm saying is, if we have some of these influencers do stuff like this with commitment from the government, right, or maybe whatever body that governs that act, I think people would begin to become more aware of these laws, right? You don't expect. For example, I won't blame those guys from the north people that could barely speak English. No offense to anybody, doesn't even know they're carrying the Russian flag. Well, maybe with the intention of doing
so
whatever.
It's possible
treason.
that those people carrying the flag do not even have the intention.
Good.
It's possible that it is the person that gave them the flag that has an intention.
So we've seen this happen.
That the carrier and ended that arrest.
Well, we've seen this happen now. But if people are more sensitized about the law, well, not just even the basic ones, right? You go every day, you say police should not search your phone because it's in the Police Act Law 2020.
Yes, you cannot search my phone except
now
it's
people are
an
more
exhibit.
aware because after that NSAS protest, they started doing some certain kind of sensitizations. We see NGO come out to do this,
So
and
it's
help
funny
them.
that before the NSAS, the Nigerian police have been doing that sensitization.
Well, people are not.
I, for one,
aware.
have participated in one of that.
That's because
they call the sensitization program If It Happen, and I think they still do it when they tell you that if your car stop for road and policeman dey there, you fit call am make he help you. If your car, if policeman stop you, say make you give am your phone, make you no give am, because they do it in pidgin. If it happens,
Anyways.
So, but truly, after the end SARS, people started now. They call it the
taking
torchlight.
cognizance into those things because they know how police has brutally, tortured people
Some
and all
people
of
and
that.
harassed some.
Now let's not go too far. We're still talking about the minors that were arrested, detained, and then charged to court for flying the Russian flag and treason and all of that. Now, so how many you were present in the court,
Of
right,
course I
when that
was.
happened, and what was it like for you? I mean, when you saw these children.
See,
these children
I'm laughing.
collapse,
I'm laughing right now,
and
but
then-
it wasn't funny. Like, I practically had to pick up my phone and call the senior colleague, and I said, "Don't come to court."
Hmm.
He asked why. I said, "Because you go cry. he's a guy, but I know he's softer than I am. He's more emotional than I am, and I knew he would cry. So I just called him. I said, "Don't come to court." He said, "What?" I said, "Because you go cry." See, I saw one of them. It felt like I could literally see his skeletal structure. And this is not me exaggerating it. I could literally see his skeletal structure. He was accompanied from the courtroom to go take a pee. And then when he was coming back, somebody offered him, he was handcuffed on both hands when he was returning from when he was leaving the courtroom, they handcuffed him. I think when he got to the bathroom to do his business and all, when he was coming back, he was still in handcuffs, both hands in front. And somebody offered him a bottle of soda. I think it was Tim Bitter Lemon. The way he was gulping this thing, despite being in handcuff.
You know that he has gone through a lot.
He is in a lot, my guy. See, I felt so bad when I saw some of them groaning in pains and all. And then somebody said, "I beg you, did they act?" After all, when they're there outside, be like, say that they chop better food. I said, "See, make I tell you, it is very possible that somebody will take gari, like drink gari morning, afternoon, and night, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and gari in the drink from January to December. But with freedom and peace of mind, that person will look very okay, like say nothing they do. But when you are in confinement, when you stay for prison, my guy, it's not the same thing. No?
Yeah, it's not the same thing. And you would also still see people say that in everything you do, don't
go to prison.
Imagine only being in a cell. Talk more.
Behind the counter self, they give me behind the counter.
You just lose weight instantly.
Jeez, I think the first and only time I stepped my feet into the police station, I was 9. I had beaten my landlord's daughter together with my sister.
Okay, let's not.
And then they came to arrest us.
Let's not go back to that.
Behind the counter, my mother.
Okay, so now we saw the comments by some of the lawyers, barristers there, from the government officials, and also those ones standing for the protesters and all. So we saw a video of the government one that said they were not minors but married. Do these guys look married? Okay,
so the thing is, as Nigerians, you cannot exactly guess a person's age.
Yeah.
You see someone who looks so old, and when they tell you their age, you be like, "Excuse me."
Especially with this
generation. This generation, they bobo me. But in all honesty, we had minors. I told you there were 2 batches. We had the batch of 76 and the batch of 43. Now, if you go through the charge sheets of these 2 batches, you will realize that they were minors. When I say minors, I mean people below the age of 18. That is from 17 down to 13. From 17 down to 13. We had 13, we had 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. But 2021, like that, you get. So we had minors. But for the number of minors that were arraigned is where there are some misinformation, as people, people just post whatever number come to their head. They tell you they did a head count and all of that and assumed, right? But if you go through the charge sheet, you realize that we have about 38 minors, those who were below the age of 18. We have about 38 of them who were there. See, as at the day they were giving, the day the matter was discontinued, 2 of them, 4 persons collapsed on the day they were arraigned. They had come to court and they had invited witness to the dock. As everybody they march enter witness dock, I saw these 4 just collapse. The judge stood up. He was agitated. They had to stand down the matter and try to give as much medical emergency help, not medical emergency help as
because the videos circulating didn't show that there was
they had to give as much emergency help as they could give before they were now rushed to the hospital. And then the prosecuting counsel said they will stand down their own matter, the matter as concerning those 4. They will stand it down pending when they have received treatment and can now stand trial. You understand? But Fortunately for them, the AGF, the Attorney General, under Section 174 of the Constitution, took over the matter and discontinued same. So all of them together, they are now free.
So this includes both the minors and the...
Yes, everybody, except for the first 11.
So those
the first 11 who were arraigned in September still have matters in courts. So if you watch,
were they minor? So
no, they were not. If you watch the video of Femi Falana SAN, he said he is hoping that the government would also, pardon to them. They will still show them that same hand of mercy, because of course they are just protesters, right? They are just protesters, so the government should do same for them. But saying that those guys, they were no minors, no.
Okay, now the barrister from the lawyer for the government, right? For the Nigerian police, sorry. He, said they were married, they were educated people and all of that. For the North, for Northerners, this is with no disregard or disrespect to anybody. They are one of the people who marry quite early. Yes. So you could see like a 25-year-old guy, he's already married, right? It's not like those of us from the South who wants to make all the money in the world. So will I dispute him when he said some of them are married? No. This is majorly because I know that in the North, 21, 25, some of them are married. So there is a possibility that, okay, those ones within the range of 20 to 40 are married. Yes. But you see the ones below this age range, I doubt it. But now, why he said that, right? You know that by the time first when they were arrested, they would have done a documentation. They did a documentation. So could it be that they even agreed to being married before he said that? He couldn't have just said that. So it's possible. By speculation. It's possible. Like I said, if you check the charge sheets, you will see that everybody has their name, their gender, and their age written, yeah. Right? You see, for instance, Salisu Mohammed, M, showing that he's a male. 13, Zubeiru Tijani, M, 40. So it's possible that while they were giving this information, they had stated if they were married or single. So I mean, for a lawyer, he wouldn't just come out to make such statements. Yes, even though we've seen some do that anyways. So, see, most times they say what they know. Right. Exactly. They say what they know. You need to say these things with evidence. Of course. So it's quite unfortunate that has happened to this. But would you commend the government for stepping down the matter, or would you say it should have been continued? I would remember it's treason they were charged for. So I would have. I applaud the government, right? I applaud the office of the AGF. I applaud the AGF himself, Lateef Fagbemi, Lateef Fagbemi SAN, for coming into that matter. For taking over the matter, because constitutionally he has the constitutional rights and backing to take over any criminal matter and also discontinue same. So I really applaud him for doing that and showing mercy. This is to show that he understands and he agrees with the rule and laws of the country that says citizens have a right to protest, and that minors should not be brought to. So the thing is, on the day they were discharged, right, they were not even brought into the court. They were not brought to courts. This is because from the very beginning, minors should not be in that, open courtroom. But, according to Section 1 of the Child Rights Act, anybody below the age of 17 should be charged to a family court. My few times in court, I've come to realize that there are some matters that are even judged in the chambers of the judge. This is maybe it involves a child or the sensitivity of the matter. So in the first place, they shouldn't have been in the open courtroom, right? So I really applaud the AGF, L.O. Fagbemi, SAN, for taking over the matter and discontinuing same. This goes to show that, yes. But could it be as a result of the pressure from Nigerians that he stepped in? So when I started, I said for the first time in a long while, I am proud to be a journalist, because Nigerian government bowed to pressure. Did you see, if you watch from
31st of October till 5th of October. November. From 31st of October till 5th of November, when they were granted bail, you will realize that the media, it's like an everyday thing. The conversation was everywhere. It made headline news, even on CNN, BBC, Al Jazeera, Reuters, like all the international media you can talk about. Everybody was giving it different headlines, right? So Percy said Nigeria set to kill minors.
Well, because of the law.
Yeah, because it's a treason offense, and treason is punishable by death.
And then it's a sensitive matter that involves minors.
There was too many pressure, right? All the conversations you see online, people are talking about it. It is everywhere. So I can agree with you that they had to bow to the pressure. The pressure was much. They had to. And Nigeria is not in that place where they want to soil their image.
We already have a soiled image.
Yes, so we are trying to redeem our soiled image. We don't want to be soiling it more and more.
True.
So I will agree that they bow to pressure.
Oh. I think for issues like this, right, we'll see how social media has helped in, in
driving this kind of
conversations and all. So, but we haven't seen it do that successful dragging in terms of the kind of protest we want, right? We see that for the NSAS, social media was a very big tool until it was shut down due, trying to, and
especially Twitter.
And Twitter now has become a hub for, it's even more, it's gaining more traction than the traditional medias now.
My
right?
dear. See, that's what they call us streets. Twitter as streets.
Yeah. So, but do you think that if there's going to be another protest, is it going to still work out? I mean, with what we have seen now, we've seen in 2020 that protesters were arrested and some are still in prison till now. Some have been killed, and then carry over to 4 years later, we still have another protest that has, brought the treason thing, out. Do you think that if another one would hold, that protest will yield any response?
I feel it will not
bow to the pressure.
I don't think it will, mainly because, for instance, I want protests. I don't see NSAS. I don't see end bad government. What's it make you think I go and pull head again?
Well, there are Nigerians.
No, they get some people be die hard.
I mean, if you want, people must die.
No, there are people who are. It's either you go hard or you go harder. There's no go home. Okay. But you see me, my own life, I go hard, work, I go home.
No, but
so it's possible that this protest would happen, but the chances of getting a proper response will be very slim, because these days people are quite careful. Who get 10 million naira? Because see now, they gave those guys bail to the tune of 10 million each.
So much,
and they have to bring two shorties. One has to be a civil servant that will bring their ID card to prove that they are civil servant, and the other has to be a family member. How far?
Wait, that was what they gave them for this? They are going out now.
No,
before.
Yes, after the arraignment, that was their bail condition before people started dragging them.
Whereas they gave 500K to.
So that their place too, people they drag. But the truth is, the issue of bail terms, though at the discretion of the judge, it also depends on the charges.
Yeah, true though.
It also depends on charges. They have a more weighty charge brought against them as compared to the House of Reps member. But what can we say?
Yeah. So, well, I think we've had a very intense conversation.
For once, Jackson has drilled me.
I know. I mean, because you were again live in the courtroom, and you seem to have extensive knowledge about some of these courts activities and the law, compared to people sitting in social media and not really understanding. Again, it's easy for you to just talk if you do not understand
that's
the law,
true.
but
Talk is cheap now.
Talk is cheap, and until you get into problem, then you realize that
oh boy.
So any final words before
Okay, so like we said at the beginning of this conversation, right? ignorance of the law is not an excuse.
Yeah.
I said this on one of the past episodes that Nigerian youth, it is not enough that will come on social media and rant. Please, you have apps, mobile apps that could help you with a lot of information. There's ChatGPT. I am telling you, if you go on ChatGPT and type, for instance, what does the Nigerian tenancy law say? Trust me, something will pop up. If you go on Google and type it, it will pop up. If you cannot download the entire constitution, maybe because it is heavy, and you cannot go to the market, to the bookshops or those legal bookshops to buy them because they are expensive, you can just do a little bit of research so you are in the know. Ignorance of the law is not an excuse. If you fault it, you cannot say, I did not know. You will go in for it. That's just what I have to say. And again, I want to really appreciate the office of the AGF and the AGF himself.
They're not appreciating the citizens.
For taking over this matter and granting and granting these protesters freedom. Yes, and granting them freedom so that they can reunite with their family. And kudos to men of the press and the media personnel for mounting as much pressure as they did and giving this story, the kind of traction, because now the traction I make way government no say something they stop. Once again, I am proud. For once, I am proud of my profession. Like I mean shoot.
Thank you, Ada. Before we go, I just think I agree with the fact that people need to to really understand the law. But again, I'm still back to part where we say government as well.
Yes, they also have responsibility.
I feel the MBA. It's government too as well. So it's enough for them to teach these lawyers, the barristers, the law. But what about the citizens? I think the weight of some of these things on their decks will reduce if people begin to get sensitized about the law.
I agree.
So
I agree. The government owes us that responsibility to ensure that every citizen is well educated about the law. If you go on social media, especially on TikTok, you will see some law students or even lawyers coming out to tell you some things about the law. So I think the government should collaborate with individuals like this, so this information reaches a better and a large number of citizens, so we do not have citizens breaking the law in the name of ignorance. It's been a wonderful time in the studio with Jackson Ode while he was drilling me today. It's been such a nice time, and we are really grateful to you viewers for staying tuned with us every week on Akweya TV and on the Fifth Estate Live as we discuss trending social issues and how they affect our development as individuals and as a society. Don't forget to like and share this video, and also leave a comment in the comment section telling us what you think about the laws and constitution of this country and how it applies to our day-to-day activities. Also follow us on all our social media platforms: Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, all our social media platforms. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel and click on the notification bell so you are notified whenever we make a post. Till we come your way again next time, do have a wonderful day. Bye.